Good morning, bedheads. Click. I really got a good one this morning. Oh my good, look at that. Look at this. Hi, I'm Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well this morning. I got a lot to talk about as usual. Sometimes now I wake up and I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. And then within 30 minutes, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I've got stuff. So what we're going to talk about today is one, why I'm using Yes Girl Yes today. We'll talk about that. That has to do with those who wonder if they're light workers. Like, what is a light worker? So we're going to talk about that. Okay. And I got a very sweet, our community got a very sweet comment that sparked this conversation. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about real briefly, very briefly, about F45 and what I think is happening, just my opinion. But the SGs have a message for us from the Pendulum that has in relation to that. And I'll do a angel card reading using this deck. This is the deck that my spirit guides suggested I use today. And yeah, just to give you kind of a overview of what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with the F45. So I don't know if this is obvious to anybody else. I'm pretty sure it probably is. Especially, I just watched a clip from Rachel Maddow, who I'm exploring. She's on MSNBC. I'm exploring whether or not she is a trusted journalist on legacy media. The show looks to be that way, at least what they're putting up on YouTube. I really do. I've always liked Rachel. But it depends on what we feel like she's keeping back, okay? However, I just watched a few clips from her, again, Rachel Maddow. Anytime I list or talk about somebody, I'll list it in the description, okay? I just watched a clip from her that really goes after F45. So... And it had to do with his relationship with VP Putin. Whatever. I don't know if I can we say his name on here? I don't know. Who knows? I'd actually rather not, just because of the energy around it, but I don't have a better, I know other people call him Rasputin, and I don't know. I don't have a better, we'll just call him VP, okay? For now. So, MSN. I got to make notes of what I need to include in the description or I'll forget. You know, he is very clear that he's isolating us. He's isolating the United States. That's why, I mean, the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, now he wants to pull out of NATO. And Rachel just did this show. It was like 7 minutes. I'll post it on all the times he's been asked about VP and how he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. They'll like, have you talked to VP? I don't want to talk about it. Have you talked to him? Who? Like, he literally goes, the woman says, have you talked to Vladimir? And he's like, who? It's just, anyways, so he's dodging. I mean, it is just so blatantly obvious that it feels blatantly obvious. I could be completely wrong that who he is teamed up with. I mean, and now he's isolating us. Great. Just great. Okay. So that's my thought about that, because I think it's important for people to be aware of that. If I'm observing this, I want to know, are you observing this? Can you confirm if this is something you're observing? Because if we're all observing this, this is part of the persistence of us needing to take action if this is the case, because that's getting quite serious. And I mean, everything is freaking serious that's going on, but this is even, I mean, great. So we're now teaming up the United States with all the dictators. Oh, that's just feels lovely. So, however, with the pendulum, if you're new here, I do speak with, have been asking every morning in the last week for my spirit guides to give me direct messages. So I normally will speak with them through the dowsing rods, which I do kind of in the evening, taking your questions on different topics. We did one last night on karma, really interesting. And I can see people asking a ton of really great questions to continue the conversation. I'll post the karma conversation here. And so the pendulum, sorry, I find if I don't take notes about what I promise I'm going to leave, then I will forget something. So the note from the pendulum today. Yesterday, the message was patience today. Today, and I asked for something about what's going on the world stage. Okay. They know what we want. They know what we want. We've been talking about it on the channel for a long time. Again, if you're new here, you might have to catch up on some of that stuff, but you'll catch on over time where we kind of stand in this community. But this is their message. I mean, really, very soon. I'm just the messenger. Keep that in mind. What does very soon mean in the spirit world? I don't know. I'm a little nervous to ask, but I will anyways, because I am just trusting that I'm the messenger and they'll tell us what we need to know. Okay, you guys, without giving us major false hope or understanding that the timeline, I want them to understand that we understand the timeline shifts. So please take that into account when you're communicating your answer here. So we don't have false hope. We want direct, very clear communication without false hope, please. Which also means everybody here needs to guard themselves against false hope. Okay, so just take that responsibility. All right. If it doesn't feel good to you, then just, disregard it. So we want to know what very soon means. Are you comfortable giving us more information about that? Just so you guys know, I've done the prayer. Obviously, I had to do it before I did the pendulum. Okay. So very soon, were you meaning, and I did actually ask them after I got done with the pendulum, but are you meaning that F45 will be taken out of office very soon? Nice. So the answer is yes. Okay. Again, take responsibility in case this doesn't happen for some reason. Is there a possibility that that could change? Okay, so yes, good. So they're giving us reasonable expectations. Okay. Is there a 75% chance that he will be taken out of office? Yes. Does that include his entire administration? Yes. Okay. So very soon. Like in the month, are you seeing it right now as the timeline sits right now by the end of February? Oh, wow. Okay. So maybe that's, they did say very soon. And be careful, you guys, not to be worried about the other one that's swinging. It's just the energy moving it. See how wide they're swinging the yes? Okay. So, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? I think one of the reasons, and I will ask them, that they're giving us these messages is to help us as light workers, which is going to be my next conversation, keep our vibrations high. because the more we sink into the reality of what all the shenanigans, okay, then the more it shifts the timeline. Okay. So is that one of the reasons why you're communicating this way? Yes. Okay. And you're wanting us to have hope so that and positivity, so we can hold the light, basically. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that, because I think it would be very hard. That's what I've kind of come to the realization here in this community, is that, and I actually had this conversation yesterday, Coffee with Karen. I'll post it right here, because it was about, are we delusional? And my conclusion is, I don't care if I'm delusional or not, because I find that F45 followers like to use that word a lot. So, they stumble onto my channel into our community every once in a while. So, so I thought, okay, well, let's talk about that, because I used to take offense to it, but now I'm like, well, are we delusional? Is going into the golden future a delusion? Because that's what we've been talking about. Is being a light worker a delusion? Is being positive a delusion? Okay. I mean, if that's what it takes, is keeping our vibration high are we being delusional that something could change if we keep our vibration high? Maybe. I highly doubt it. My intuition says absolutely not. I know many people here, your intuition says absolutely not. Our SGs confirm it. I just love that I stumbled on the pendulum thanks to Mystic Shadows, who I saw doing it. I've seen it before, but it just came into my purview again as I'm facilitating this community. And in Mystic Shadows, again, where'd my pen go? I will post that. Again, anytime I mention a channel that I watch, I will post it below. So she was using the pendulum. She uses the pendulum a lot, actually, but she had a yes and no for a while. Then I saw her come out with much nicer than mine, using and getting direct messages. And I was like, oh, yeah, hello, I want direct messages. So the direct messages to me are just so substantial, because you just can't argue with it, And I'd be very happy to do the pendulum with you on camera, but I don't want to edit, and it's slow. I mean, it's not that slow. And plus, I don't know, I'd have to do a whole setup thing. So that ain't going to happen anytime soon. But so just a reminder, I'm going to go over a few of the messages for like the last 4 days. Okay. So on the 15th, it was back NATO now. On the 16th, it was see you pie in sky, which is what I wrote down is something good that seems impossible or unlikely. So they're saying, see you there, see you pie in the sky. They actually spelled that out. Then on the 17th, which was President's Day, they spelled out President Kamala Harris. Okay. Then yesterday on the 18th, they spelled out patience today. And now on the 19th, they said very soon. Okay. So again, we're going to just have that help us keep our vibrations high. Be excited about it. I mean, I'm a little nervous about it, but just kind of get rid of that nervous energy. When I asked yesterday when we were talking about delusions, I asked about being delusional to the pendulum. They said, besides patience now or patience today, they said coup. So about being delusional. It was, how I took that is there's a coup going on, and that's the delusion. There is a coup going on. So, I can't quite remember I just wrote down about being delusional. So I don't know, maybe the delusion is that there's no coup going on. Well, let me ask. Because now that I just said that, now I'm curious. So when I asked about the conversation we were going to have yesterday with Coffee of Karen about whether we're delusional or not, and you spelled out coup, did you mean that we're delusional thinking there's a coup? No. Okay. Did you mean that the delusion is those who don't think there's a coup going on? Okay, so those who don't think there's a coup going on are the ones that are living with delusion. And it doesn't sound nice, but those are the ones who kind of have amnesia to what's going on, let's just say. Yes. Okay. All right, so I'm just wanting to clarify that in case I was misunderstanding them. Because if we're the ones, here's the thing. If they were saying, Karen, you're the one who's delusional, and F45 really isn't F45, he really is there to help and maybe do other things, then I'd be like, heck yeah, okay. I'd want that message too, So at this point, this is a bipartisan conversation, it just is. So, okay, there's that. Very soon. I don't know. We'll keep talking. Okay, I did want to mention that before I forget, so reading the Golden Future in the Spirit Circle, this is the card that we pulled after chapter 3. And I want to bring that to the public channel so that if those who want to, we can all be on the same page with what the spirit guides want us to focus on this week. Okay. And this is the card. So this is us kind of envisioning our future. Okay. And holding the light for different aspects of the golden future, just where we're going as a society. Okay. And we want to go somewhere really positive, right? And so this is what they had suggested. And so you can see the image. You can maybe hold that image in your mind. So trust that all you need will come to you. And so apparently in the golden future, what we can trust, and that's like 7, 8, 9 years from now, is that everything will every single person on earth will have what they need, and that we won't need to fight anymore. We won't need to be competitive anymore. We won't need to, this is a safeguard what's mine and what's yours. And they had asked, as part of this message, to continue, if you've already done it, but even move it up to being generous, not protecting, this is mine, this is yours, okay? That we can start moving into more generosity. Whatever I have is yours. Whatever you have is mine. And that we will share it, okay? So kind of an interesting message. We'll be doing again, the Spirit Circle is the channel membership. We'll be reading chapter 4 tomorrow, actually, and we'll get a different card. So I'll bring that to you guys on Friday. Okay, so let's just talk real quick about Lightworkers. I got the most delightful comment today. It just really warmed my heart. Everybody's so sweet on here. So Stacy Smalley, thank you for this comment. She said, I really, really want to be a light worker, but I don't have any indications that I am. It's just so sweet. And I don't have any special gifts that I would think would be beneficial to being a light worker. I mean, just this comment, Stacy, you just leaving this comment is like, I'm almost tearing up. You just leaving this comment tells everything about you. How does one figure out whether or not they are a light worker? It's just, you are, girl. You are. And that's why I filled this mug for you. Yes, girl. Yes. Click. Clink. Yes, you are. And guess what? You do have special gifts. We all do. We all do. We all have the ability to work with energy and to use our intuition to connect with our spirit teams, with our higher self, with our guardian angel. It's just something that right now in your life is maybe there's other things you need to be doing. So you're following your intuition. If you're inspired to work on that connection, I do have a video where I talked about how to do that. Okay. I will post it right there. I don't remember the name of it, but I will post it right there. Okay. Let me just write that down real quick. So it's basically like connecting with your spirit guides. Okay. So I did look this up. I thought, well, let's see what AI has to tell us about light workers. All right. And then you'll know. You'll know for sure. Okay. A light worker is a term used to describe someone who actively chooses to bring positive energy, love, and higher consciousness into the world, often by performing acts of kindness, compassion, and service to others, with the belief that they are contributing to a greater spiritual purpose and raising the vibrational frequency of the planet. Now, I never even knew the term light worker until like a year ago. So it's not like, and actually I just read something recently from like 2007 and they were using the word light worker. Well, I was busy working in higher education, so I wasn't tapping into this kind of conversation then. Okay. Which is probably other people too. And so if the word light worker is new to you, it has been around for a long time. But what's happening right now, I believe, and I'm learning just from all the questions we've been asking the spirit guides over the last 4 months since this channel started, that, and all the conversation you guys have been contributing to, is that we are coming to a point where the light workers are waking up basically, and waking up in the sense of like becoming aware. Okay. That, oh, we have a higher purpose here. Like, okay, that was my job then, or many of you might still be in a job, but you also now have this job to do. And because you're stumbling across things that bring that term up to you now, you're paying attention. You paid attention, Stacy, right? You paid attention. You stumbled across here somehow. You paid attention. You now asked a question, and now we're talking about it. Okay. And that's how it came across my deck. That's how my desk, basically, a year ago or something. And I had I've been reading spiritual books since I was 16. So, but now I am much more aware of the need. And I think obviously F45 and that whole thing is pushing us. And I can see that that is happening for a reason, to push us to the golden future. So the more it's waking a bunch of us up, basically. We've always been awake. It's and probably doing these nice things. I've always been doing service to others. I've always been very kind as I can. Not always. I mean, I have PMS, used to. You know what I mean? On crabby days, tired days, of course. It's the human stuff. And but at my core, I'm quite sensitive and compassionate towards anything that's not just. And so, so we all have different layers of all this kind of stuff. Okay. But I think all the light workers are coming together now. We're all being brought together. Okay. I did hear, I don't know, a month or two ago, I've talked about this several times, but I did hear about a month or two ago, I think it was I don't remember what channel it was on, but it was from someone who was channeling an archangel. Okay. And they basically said, right now, all hands on deck. Okay. So there have been light workers being born for many, many years. So I'm 55. And so 55 years ago, a light worker was born. Okay. And lived my life blah, 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 until it was time for me to step it up and all hands on deck. Okay. Some of you who were born whenever you were born, you became aware of that we all became aware of it at different times. There are people in this community who have very aware that they've been a light worker for 20 years, 25 years. That's why all the conversation is so rich here. Okay. And now they could probably see like, whoa, here we are, like not just in this community, but all over. Okay. All over the world. And that must be pretty exciting to see. If you've been really paying attention over the last, whatever, how many years. So what that tells me, Stacy, is so I became much more aware and attuned to it like a year ago. I didn't do anything until like 6 months ago. And then just 4 months ago, I started talking about it here. Okay. So what that tells me is you're just like 4 months behind me. Basically. Now, I have been talking with my spirit guides for about 8 years. So I have been aware that I could communicate because I got these dowsing rods like 8 years ago. So yeah, so I've been doing that, but you are included in the all hands on deck from where you're at right now. So be patient with yourself. You just follow your own intuition because that's what the world needs. The world doesn't need you to be where I'm at or be another Karen. The world doesn't need you to be another whoever's in this community. Okay. The world needs you to be Stacy, and the world needs you to be at where you're at. So whatever inspires you, just explore that. Just explore that. So wherever you're interested in, what topics of spirituality or what's your higher spiritual purpose, whatever inspires you at this point, just follow that inspiration. That's your team, your spirit guides, your intuition telling you this is where we want you to go. Okay. So no comparisons, because comparisons are not going to be helpful. And I know our human selves want to compare all the time. And so just trust that your spiritual team is guiding you when the timing is right. Okay. I hope that's helpful. I loved that question. It really just touched my heart so much. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card now for us from the Sacred Medicine. And while I'm getting that ready, I just want to say that we are going to dabble in premiering all videos going forward. Okay. Now, what that means is, and I don't know, people are just going to have to know what that means, I think, over time. It means we're not going to be live. So this video is being recorded. Okay. And well, 2 of them just popped out. I didn't even ask any questions. I'll put those there in case they want us to look at those. But we will post so the reason we're going to premiere is because it will allow the community to talk to each other. So, what I love. Okay. So this way, those who want to watch the video together in the chat, you have a chance to chat. Otherwise you don't. And so it just gives the community an opportunity to chat. Okay. Now, there may be times where myself, Lob, or Marcia are not in the chat. We will, most of the time, post up at the top. We're going to pin a comment as to who's there. Like I'll be like, Karen's here today, Lob's here today, Marcia's here today. So when you see it Ask the Spirit Guide comment, you'll know who it is. Okay. And so we could, the only thing is it's not going to be live. So you won't be able, we're not going to be taking questions live. It'll be about that topic. Okay. Whatever the video's on. So that's really what premiere is. Okay. So I just thought it would be why not? Why not let the community talk to each other? And then when we can, we'll join, and it'll be awesome. It'll be fun. So, okay. But if you have questions, make sure you put questions in comments of every video, not in that chat. Okay. I guess I'll have to make a, excuse me. What was that? Oh my gosh. Did I get a tumbleweed in my throat? I think a tumbleweed just tumbled through my throat. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just ask the SGs if I didn't even ask them a question, but they know I'm doing these cards for just a message for the day. Is one of the messages in front of me, you guys, that you want to communicate? Oh, it is. All right. Is it the one on the left? The one on the right? So yes, the one on the right. Okay. All right. So this is what they wanted you to hear today. Love this deck, just like I love all of them. Let's see. Okay. Oh. All right. Here's the image. Beautiful. What is she saying to you? She's got a couple necklaces on. There's a web. Spider Woman. Destiny. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just making sure I add that up correct. Guess what number that is? 4 plus 8 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Does that surprise anybody who's been around the channel? Oh, the threes, the threes. The 3, I believe. It's funny that you know, as much as I always say there's 3s here, I've never really looked up. I think it's spiritual guidance. Your spiritual spirits are guiding you. What is 3? Oh, here, let me look in here actually. I've got my numerology deck. I just thought I'd leave it here so that I could look up what this deck is saying. Again, when I use stuff, oh, this says creativity for 3, but I think there's more. But that's okay. So in the numerology deck, it's creativity. But I'm going to look up real quick. So yeah, so the angel number 3 can represent creativity, growth, and new beginnings. It can also symbolize the Holy Trinity in various spiritual traditions. So new beginnings, because think about what we just talked about today. New beginnings. We talked about this very soon. We talked about Stacy, new beginnings for her and others who are discovering that they're light workers and joining in, because all hands on deck now. And now we've got Destiny, 3 new beginnings, Spider Woman. So let's see, 48. Okay, so let's see what part of this I want to read. There are a few potential destiny paths that are available to you now, and with intention, she helps you collapse those that are no longer for your highest good. Only you will know the next steps to take toward the timeline that is for the most aligned frequency. Activating your creative energy, she reminds you to follow your inspirations and retrieve the destiny that has been laid out for you. Did I not just say this? I mean, it's like magic. I just said that when we were talking to Stacey. Follow your intuition. Follow your creative sparks. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's, I want to go make cupcakes. Go make cupcakes. You know, you just never know where that's going to lead. Okay, so follow your inspiration. It's time to follow through on your heart's desire and the steps being revealed to you. With Spider Woman's magical medicine, You are in a perfect position to walk in alignment with what was seen for you before you landed here on Earth. We are all, anyone who's seeing this right now, we are in perfect alignment with what was seen for us before we landed here on Earth. She, Spider-Woman, protects your dreams and asks you to trust the resilience of the web she has weaved for you. Nice. That's amazing. So the healing affirmation is, as I step into the timeline that is meant for me, my magnificent destiny awaits. Very cool. All right, you guys. So I am going to be on Premiere today, so I will see you in a bit. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.